Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Prince Safari Wycliffe. You can find me on Facebook at Prince Safari KE. On Instagram, you can find me Prince Safari KE. Twitter at Prince Safari KE. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you about security measures that you need to put in place, especially when you are in a hotel. We realize that most time you travel away from our home places where you feel you're more comfortable and safe. But now what happens when you travel away from your home? Maybe for a business trip, for a vacation, or maybe for one or two reasons you need to be somewhere. And you find yourself that you really need to be somewhere where you need to spend a night. Now, sometimes when we are at home, we are a bit safe and you're okay. But now when you travel, you really need to take precautions. You need to take precautions that it's more safe for you. And what are the 10 security measures that you need to focus, especially when you're booking a hotel or when maybe you want to spend a night somewhere? The first thing that you need to understand is about the security things, the security measures in that place kind of hotel. You have to identify a hotel that is more secure for you, where you don't have to be scared of something happening to you, about your safety, the people who are spending time in that hotel, because you realize most people will be spending their night in that hotel. And so you don't know who is who. So your security means a lot to you. So you actually need to identify a hotel that is more secure, more good, and more safe for you. That's precaution number one. It's actually very, very important because you never know. This world is weird. You find some people will never try to follow you wherever place you are if they have bad intentions of a particular kind of a thing. Now, number two is how safe in case of an emergency. Now, if you are in that hotel, what happens in case of an emergency? Let's talk about the fire outbreak. Are you able to leave that hotel in a very fast and secure way? That's the most important thing also you need to consider, because we never know. Emergencies do occur. And maybe sometimes when you are in a hotel, something can just come up and let's talk about security issues and all those things happening. So how fast can you be able to get away from that place where you spend the night and get outside or maybe more secure? So identify that as a key thing that you also need to understand. Now, precaution number three, when you go into a hotel, there are some of the things that you need to understand. Whenever you go into a hotel room, most hotels you find they have this the key lock thing when you go in and then you lock it. Now, most people tend to make mistakes here, because when you go into a hotel, you find that they may be having more than one key. Yeah, they can have around 2 or 3. So they give you one, the one that you can be able to use. Leave about the hotels that normally have cards, the access cards. That's a bit safe. But now whenever you go into a hotel where you have the lock key, there's something that you need to understand. When you go in, you never know who might come from outside coming in. But what you need to understand is when you go into a hotel, make sure that whenever you go to sleep, you lock the door and you leave the key there. Make sure that you lock the door, then try to open it and see if it's open. If it doesn't open, then you just leave the key there. Now, how I've said is that is because if another person will come from outside, tries to come into that hotel room and try to put the key won't go in. Why? It's because there's another key. So that's a major security issue that you need to understand. Sometimes someone can decide to come into your room and without your knowledge, maybe you're sleeping and opens the door, you never know, and you know what happens there. So that's one thing that you also need to understand, how you are doing the whole thing. Number 4, what you need to understand also is about the place where you sleep, the bed sheets, the pillows, and all those things. Sometimes it's advisable, or maybe this is what I'll give you as an advice, is whenever you go into a hotel, make sure that you can be able to call the person who is the hotel assistant to come over to your place and try to ask if they can be able to change the bed sheet. Most bed sheets might have stayed there for around 2 or 3 days, or maybe more than those times. And when they do that, you never know what might have happened there. That's number one. Or maybe someone might have had bad intentions about you, and maybe probably might have followed you and knows that you'll sleep in that hotel. And you know, nowadays a lot of things happen. Even the bed sheets can be able to be sprayed over something, and when you go to sleep, then a lot of things will happen. So you need to understand that thing as a key thing. Now, when you go to number 5, there is what we call the security safe lock, where if you have that's the valuable items, like let's say expensive watches and you have expensive watches, you have maybe money or something like that. Some hotels, when you go in, you find that in these hotels, they normally have the safe box. And in that safe box, when you put your own numbers, you'll find that it's open. But when you put your own numbers, you make sure that you put all your valuable items into that. And you have to cram the number. You can cram the number how? You can have your phone call and then save it differently on your phone so that you don't forget in the morning. Sometimes if someone is a little bit tipsy or maybe drunk, coming on, and then you're trying to put your things saved in the morning, you cannot be able to remember. Okay, as much as they're going to help you, but how sure are you that the people who are going to help you can be able to understand that, cannot be able to understand that the valuable items that you have there really need to be secure for you. So you go in, you put your valuable items there, you put the number, and then if you can be able to forget the number, save it on your phone differently. Don't use something like clock or something, because it's prone to people who have bad intentions. So that's one thing you need to understand. Now, the next thing that you need to know, that's number 6, is about the charging socket, the place where you sleep. Make sure that your phone is fully charged. The moment you step into a hotel, make sure that your phone is fully charged. Why do you say so? Because the moment you realize maybe your phone is gone off and something has happened within where you are and you cannot be able to go outside. So what happens is you make sure that you have the number of maybe the receptionist or someone when you came in, so that in case of anything, you can be able to call and say, I'm stuck somewhere and I need 1, 2, 3, 4. And those things are very sensitive, especially when you are far away. So make sure that your phone is fully charged and never ever forget your phone charging, especially when you're traveling. That's a very sensitive things. Now, there's another thing we want to discuss about number 7. Number 7 is a very sensitive one and a very, not really clear, but when you look at the most sensitive one, that's the food stuff thing. You realize sometimes people in a luxury hotel, they tend to say, you bring food to my room. But I don't encourage that mostly. That's how I feel as an individual. What you actually need to do is to be able to, I would advise you to walk down to where there is the hotel or the cafeteria place, and then have your meal, then come back to the room. Because when you order someone to bring you food, some people have bad intentions, and especially if you are a celebrity, if you're a businessman, if you've gone into vacation with your family, they even don't know the kind of person you are, but people see like you have money and all that. So you never know, someone might bring food which has been poisoned or something, and that is more dangerous. Now, number 8, the staffing. How many staffs are there? Now, create a good relationship with any of the staff, especially who is going to direct to the room. And you're like, okay, thank you very much I love the room. Is this and this happening? Can I have the... You really need to create a good relationship with them. And when you create a good relationship with them, don't be too open to them that you tell them what you're coming to do there. You just have to be reserved a bit, and you know what you want, especially if you are in a meeting and I'm going to take this period of time in this place. You don't need to share everything to someone, but you need to create a good relationship with them so that by the time you get stuck, they can be able to say, yeah, he's a guy and we know him and the whole thing. Now, another thing, that's number 9, before I go to number 10. Especially when you step into your room and maybe you're tired, you want to take a shower, make sure first of all you need to test especially the warm tub shower, something. You have to make sure that it's safe. Sometimes there's always like electric issues with the shower, and you might have an electric shock. So make sure you check it very well. It's safe for you. It's secure. It's okay. Then you can leave it running for some time, maybe around 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You check it, and then it's okay. Also, as a good hygiene, you also have to check if the flush is working on the toilet. If it's working, you check on that. The sensitive things that you also need to do, especially when you are in a toilet, make sure that you clean, especially the surface of the sitting. What do you call it? Or the sitting of the sitting thing. So that is, so make sure that you clean and it's okay and it's safe and it's okay for you, because you don't know. And most times when you go into like when you want to ease yourself, you make sure you flush first of all, maybe twice, because that's a public place where everyone can just go in. But make sure you clean the bottom, the top part of it, because most people have sat on it, and you understand the diseases that can be able to be transmitted through such a kind of thing, especially when the splashing of the water, of the blue water and the whole thing. That is it. So it's very, very, very important. Now the last one, before you leave your hotel, make sure you check everything that you came up with. The first thing is, when you wake up early in the morning and you want to leave, make sure you get all your stuffs that are there in a hotel, in the safe box, and make sure that you pack it well. The second thing is, pick your charger, you put it, your phone is okay. Even before you leave, you have to make sure that you check everything that you came up with is actually secure. If you can be able to do all those things, you won't be having issues running up and down and trying to know, what am I supposed to do, especially when I travel outside the country or when I travel to meet some people. All those things are very, very important. But more importantly, use your common sense. It's more important. Don't stay till late, especially if you want to have a drink. It's more important you buy a drink and have it in your room. But if you are having friends who are hanging out with you, then you can just hang out with your friends. But again, another thing is, when you're having a drink with friends, what you actually need to identify, or what you need to do, is number one, you actually need to know that when you are going to have a drink, don't leave your drink there. Do not leave your drink there, because most times people have lost lives as a result of taking a walk, or maybe going for a loo, taking a break or something like that. That's a very, very, very dangerous thing. Make sure you finish your drink before you leave the table, no matter how much you trust anyone in that place. Don't make that mistake. But if you wanna ease yourself, finish that drink and then leave, go ease yourself, then come back, order another drink. But if you left your drink, do not drink that drink again, please. This is for safety reasons. And the bigger percentage is people have lost lives in that mysterious way where you cannot be able to understand. So thank you so much for following me. Please subscribe on this page. It's very, very, on this YouTube account. It's very, very important. And I'll keep on updating you every single day on what you need to, safety, importance of safety, and every single day that you take your vacation. If you do that, you'll have to enjoy. You won't be under pressure. You won't be at risk of anything, because I need you in this life. I need you in this life. We are passing through this life, so I need you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Do have a lovely time, and have a great day.